Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste, friends. When our nakshatras align for us to get married, the significant milestone in our life is a very important question that is asked by all of our people repeatedly. We as astrologers face this question: when will my marriage happen? In fact, last week one of our subscribers put this question to me. She said, you have done a lot of other videos, but timing marriage is something which we are not properly getting, so why not you prepare an Excel to help us analyze when marriage happens for an individual. So in this video we will explore the secrets of a traditional Vedic method of decoding the timing of marriage using mainly planetary transits, the dasas, and of course collecting the conditions under which the horoscope will guide us when the marriage will happen, if at all it happens. So let me plunge into how I have structured the Excel. As usual, we have the DOB input. Here I have a column called birth, and in which you either give the birth date or the marriage date, because mainly I am verifying the past data of people who have already got married. So I wanted to give information for that, both the birth details as well as the marriage detail. So the name, what is the name of the person? The chart name means either it is the combination of birth and the name, or the marriage and the name, this column and this column. And you give the corresponding date, time and place. If it is marriage, it's marriage date. If it is birth, it is the birth date. Time zone, all the yellow items have to be given and the rest of the things are calculated. So the natal has a table which has the charakarakas and all the rest of the information that you are familiar with. Here I was finding that D30, sometimes the Excel formula that I was using before sometimes misses the one sign. So I have a separate UDF properly created here for getting the Trimshamsa. So better from now on use this UDF in your customized models of Excel. Here I am concentrating on 4 of the charts, which is the Rasi chart, the Navamsa chart, the Trimshamsa and the Kalachakra Navamsa. I found these are more revealing in terms of what is in store for the person in terms for marriage mainly. So I am finding the Aruda Padas because we need the Aruda Pada of the 7th house. Mainly we need to study the Aruda Lagna also. The Vivaga Sagam, which is important. The Bhava positions are important. And some information here and there scattered. Collecting basic, the 7th Lord is a giver of marriage. The Dhara Karaka is to be studied for marriage. The Upapada Lagna has to be studied. The Aruda Pada of the 7th house. The Navamsa, who is the Lagna Lord in the Navamsa, which is the Navamsa 7th house, which is the Navamsa's 7th Lord. All these are very important to us. So I collected all that information. I also have a transit sheet. So once you, suppose I have pulled the person 1 year, and you first study the individual chart, how good it is in terms of marriage. You know, see the Vivaga Sagam also is something, VV is the Vivaga Sagam. Upapada Lagna is there, Venus is exalted, all these are all combined. So it's a nice marriage for this person. The 7th Lord, of course, it is in the 8th house, but nothing wrong there, because what do we see here? The next in progress is Jupiter there, nothing wrong there. This Lord is well placed. The Lord of this moon sign is 10 houses from there. So it's quite strong that way. And when you see, I mean, individually you can study this multiple factors, the Kala Chakra and the Trimsamsa. Mainly the Trimsamsa you have to study. If I see, see this house connected normally is Nicha Sthana for Venus. So that house, when you see Venus there placed, or when you have Saturn, Moon, things are going to be, so Moon and Venus are very important for marriage. If they are well placed, then marriage is going to be smooth. And if it is Saturn brings in delay, if it is going to be in some ominous positions, that is also bit checked. So you read the Trimsamsa quite deeply. That will shed light on how the marriage is. Here the Vivaha Sagam is in Venusian sign. See, Rahu, Ketu are all Venus is aspecting his own sign. Moon is fairly well placed. Of course, Saturn is aspecting it, somewhat a delay in that. So otherwise, it is a decent horoscope for marriage. And when did this person get married? We go to the transit sheet and pull the data from. I know the data. He was married. I think his chart number where his marriage date is given is 64 for this person. So let me pull 64 there. So he got married in 2003. So quite somewhat late, but Moon got him married, as in terms of Vimshotri Dasha. Rahu Bhukti got him married. You have to justify why Moon got married. When I checked here, Moon is showing 25% of the time the probability for marriage, because I am answering all these questions. Seventh Lord from the ascendant Moon and Venus happens to be Moon itself. And the number of occurrences of all these events, multiple times we see Moon for him. And naturally he got married in Moon's Dasha. And if there is a no marriage check also, it is false for him. So he got married. And you have during marriage, at the time of the transit time of marriage, two things which are holding true when Guru was transiting. Mainly the transit helps in, I am highlighting only Jupiter's transit and Saturn's transit by these colors. And when we want to see how the transits compare with, maybe you can put two windows there so that you can see the transit for him. So Jupiter was transiting a 7th house, so marriage was so much guaranteed when Jupiter transits 7th house. And Saturn's transit also is very important. Saturn was transiting over his Lagna in the Navamsa. So the Lagna Lord also of the Navamsa, it was transiting over. So all these are, you can check, so Moon was a dominating planet in his case. Upapada Lagna is in Pisces, and that time Venus was transiting the Upapada Lagna. In fact, the exact time of birth, even the ascendant was that. So it is very strongly indicative of marriage. Why did Rahu give the marriage in his Bhukti? You can start to see Rahu is in the Upapada Lagna for him. So it is Vivaha Sagam also is there. So Rahu is a good indicator. So I have putting together all the occurrences and the probabilities. Rahu gives only 2.8% according to these rules, but Moon gives 25%. So he got married in Moon's Dasa Rahu Bhukti. And this is only an indicator. Sometimes not all times it goes correctly, but at least you can more or less think of see Moon to be giving the marriage for this person, things like that. So it's somewhat helpful, and it will also be helpful why things did not happen for some people and all that. So I am using these people for all my family members. I keep pulling one sheet of the other. Maybe I can illustrate one more case for you. This is a person who is yet to get married. So let us maybe analyze why the problem. She is already around 33 years. She is not yet married. And is the marriage going to come forth quickly or not? So if we analyze that, let us first see how the 7th house is. 7th house is a Venusian sign, which is a good indication. Venus is placed in a own house. That's a very good indication. We have the Upapada Lagna in Moon's house, which is a very good indication. Moon is nicely placed in Jupiter's house. Of course, the Lord of Jupiter is not that well placed from there. But still Moon is somewhat alone. But not bad at least. So Upapada Lagna is fairly okay. And when we see other factors like Pisces is good, coming to the Navamsa, you have Moon itself in the 7th house, which is Venus, Moon. I mean, these are indicative of early marriage, but still For us, religion, I think, sect, they marry very early, maybe even 13 to 14 years. But this person is yet to get married at the age of 33 years. And Vivaga Sagam is anything. What is the reason for delay? Delay normally comes because of Saturn. We have to analyze all the charts, especially the Trimshamsa chart. If you see here, Moon and Saturn are together. So that in the house of Virgo, Virgo is where Venus gets debilitated, not welcome for a marriage. And Moon Saturn combination is always bad for marriage. Venus is definitely bad with Rahu and Ketu, but aspected by Jupiter. But Jupiter itself is an enemy of Venus. So with Vivaga Sagam in the 8th house is going to. So Trimsamsa seems to negate many things, especially the delay comes because of Moon's position with Saturn. So Kala Chakra Navamsa also, if you see here, the 7th Lord has gone to the 8th house, unfortunately. So that's bad. Other than that, the Lagna is aspected by Saturn. That is something bad there. Other than that, I don't see any problem for marriage. So this is definitely not a marriage, no marriage case. This is definitely a marriable case only. So when will marriage happen? You have to go to the transit and check how things are. Let me check. See, in this case, the marriage time is not given there. So what you have to give is your own date here. You call it marriage, but it is basically a transit date. So you give marriage as today. Okay, I'm going to pull 69 there for the transit. Let me pull 69 there, which will show the today's date, or whichever date you want. You might be wanting to compare the Tithi Pravesha chart. Then that time when Tithi Pravesha happens, that you have to give with the DOB input. I'm just checking today's date. This transit Jupiter is here. Is going to be helpful? Is it anyway connected with the 7th house? So you have to see both of them together. So let me see. Okay, so Jupiter is in the 7th house. This is a very propitious time. Definitely marriage can happen, and it is Ketu Dasa Venus Bhukti. So Venus Bhukti itself is very very good for the person for marriage. Venus happens to be very strong indicator for marriage for this case. So before Venus Bhukti ends, I should think marriage should happen. And we have to correlate it with Chakradasa also. So Chakradasa, if you see here, the current Chakradasa, I calling it marriage date, it's only today. And it is Capricorn Virgo that is running in the Chakradasa. So Capricorn Virgo, as it got connection with strong marriage indications, of course Capricorn has the Aruda Lagna opposite to the Upapada Lagna, and Virgo of course is not very conducive. I don't think Virgo is the 11th house, definitely the 11th Lord is sitting there, but normally of course Virgo is also 7th to the Moon, so that's very strong indication, yes. So even before this ends, marriage should be happening is something that we can predict. Capricorn Virgo, you can check when Capricorn Virgo is going to end. Capricorn Virgo is going to end within this year. So within few days, in fact. That is the way I see it is not going to happen. If Libra or Scorpio or Sagittarius, which is more propitious for marriage. Okay, so you'll have to read it that way. I would think year Trimsamsa Lagna is there, the year Lagna is there. I think Scorpio would be a better option. So Scorpio is coming only in 2026. So things like that. Even my interpretation part, I'm leaving it to you. It's very difficult, no doubt. But whatever elements that are to be analyzed, I think I have somewhat added. There would be a lot of other things to be added, definitely. We will have further versions of this file down the line. But I did not want to withhold this because this is a very useful tool for most of us. So you can download this Excel file. use it together with the transits and natal chart together, verify people who have already got married, and maybe suggest to me dates when or rather more conditions which have to be included in this, because as of now I have put only these conditions, and some conditions which are not entered here have to be manually entered by the user. So whatever he has formula, those are already there with the formula. Some are without formula, so there it's all empty, so you might have to include them as well, because some are not very easy to automate. When Rahu or Ketu co-joins the 7th lord, then during that dasha periods, it's very subjective to that particular chart. So if you see the condition, maybe add Rahu or Ketu here. It is so somewhat 1 or 2 rows would be empty here, so that you have to add. So all that I have not completed yet, but still I am presenting it to you so that you can give me updates on other such conditions which you will fulfill. Of course, KP method is there, where it meets a different proposition. We can also use that, but Vedic method is also very quite powerful. And this probability, how good it has come about, see Venus Bhukti should give her marriage 28.6%. It's the strongest, in fact. So such things, if it is really helpful to you or not, give us feedback. We will analyze it together. Thank you very much.